All right, so Sherry, she's with the free program, and you're in for a lot of new knowledge you need help.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Russell.
And we still have the door prizes.
Okay. Thank you, Russell, for the invite, and to all the other board members who may have played a part of allowing me to come and speak to you. I want to start off by saying I just want to applaud each of you for being here today. It is so refreshing when we get to the place that we understand that the best advocate for a healthy living for ourselves is ourselves. Would you not agree? That we all can be so misguided and we can go down places that can be so detrimental just because we don't educate ourselves about what's going on with ourselves. And it really doesn't matter what doctors say the symptoms are that are related to a diagnosis. We're the only ones that can confirm it. And so I just applaud you all for having the zeal and the desire to make sure that you come and support each other, but also that you all add to the information within the group. So that's so nice and refreshing to see. So I'm talking about the Free Foundation, and I'm sure anytime we hear the word free, we all say, what is the catch? Because surely there's nothing free. Well, actually, what I have to offer you is a hidden gem in the city of Richmond, and it is free. Now, free is an acronym that stands for the Foundation for Rehabilitation, Equipment, and Endowment. And I am going to read this mission statement and this vision statement. And it says, the mission is to help provide mobility-related rehab equipment to enhance independence and improve quality of life. And the vision that we do plan to complete is to have a Virginia where every need for mobility-related rehabilitative equipment is fulfilled. I want to tell you a little bit about the history of free. In 1999, there was a doctor, and his name was Bruce Stillman, who was over at FCD. And Mr. Stillman noticed that many of his patients, as discharge came, the very equipment that they had been given to use to change how they maneuver in life, the very equipment, you now have to go home, you have to use a walker. You now have to go home, you have to use a shower seat. This very equipment that he was putting many people into the car and they went home without it, or without a means to even get it. Not only did insurance not pay for it, but he was very clear of their predicament that they themselves would not be able to purchase it out of pocket. And so out of the kindness of his heart, what he did is he began to establish the Free Foundation, and he got monetary contributions from people, and he began to buy these pieces of equipment and give them to people as they discharge. Well, as we know, purchasing new equipment is a long road and very expensive. And then somewhere about 5 years down the road, the light went off with Mr. Stillman, and he realized the monetary value of getting used equipment would allow him to help 10 times as many people, 10 to 1, the people that he helped. And so then he began to ask for contributors for the same equipment that he was purchasing, and thereby Free began to grow into this great nonprofit that it is today. Some of the equipment that we offer is anything from a walker all the way to a power wheelchair and a scooter. I have walkers, I have rollators, I have transport wheelchairs, manual wheelchairs, scooters, power wheelchairs, and bathroom aid equipment. Anything from a shower chair to a tub transfer bench to a raised toilet seat. We also have Hoyer lifts, whether they are just the manual ones, electric Hoyer lifts, and even the simple things such as reachers and canes and sock aids. We also have that kind of equipment. So Free went from a place where this material was being purchased firsthand to material being gifted. So how does that work? This is what I love the most about Free. It is actually the community donating and the community receiving. So we're that link between the clutches that you have in your tool shed and the clutches that somebody who has no insurance and do not plan to go to the emergency room because they can't afford it, that they can come to the Free Foundation and get a simple pair of crutches. Now, how do I know that everybody in here, or not everybody, but many of us in here has at least one piece of medical equipment in our house or in our garage? And the reason being is, when we receive this kind of equipment, somehow we gain a sentimental attachment to it because we understand the benefit it was for us when we first got it. So our mind doesn't work that now that I'm finished with it to dispose of it. And so we hold it with the somebody's going to need this attitude. We put it in a good place. Even a wheelchair. You know, it's just a little something wrong with it, but somebody can use it, and we hold on to it. Well, there is a community in the city of Richmond that until I started working for free, my eyes was never open to, of people that if it was not for the Free Foundation, they literally sit on a sofa, wait for a loved one to come and help them get from the sofa to the bed because they cannot afford the equipment. Many of you may already know, but if you get any piece of mobility equipment with insurance, that you cannot get another piece of mobility equipment for 5 years. So what happens is you get a walker, and the walker's working just fine, but unfortunately your medical situation deteriorates, and now the walker won't suffice. You actually need a wheelchair. Well, it doesn't matter what insurance you have. If you call within that 5 years and you've already got the walker, you got to call back after 5 years before they would even consider giving you another piece of mobility equipment. So once you get one piece, there's a 5-year wait. Also in that, I encounter this all the time. Someone gets a wheelchair, and because before their medical edition, they were mobile. Now I'm not mobile. And so what happens, because I'm seated in the wheelchair all the time, I seem to grow out a little faster than I was before I was born. So chances are in that 5 years, I may not fit in the chair that I fit in year number 1. Well, insurance company will not replace it, even if you outgrow it. I tell you, I had a case, one of the cases that really disturbed me is a lady called me, and she had a daughter who had some kind of mobility issues, and she was in a power wheelchair. She was a young girl. She was like 14 years old. She was in a power wheelchair. Well, she had gained so much upper body strength that now she could do a manual wheelchair, which gave her independence. So she wanted to go from a power wheelchair that was big and couldn't get into some place to being able to maneuver herself in a manual wheelchair. Well, the insurance company would not even provide a manual wheelchair, even though it was cheaper and even though it was enhance her quality of life, because she still fell in that 5-year gap. And I make that point because it's important that you know this. This is not a foundation just for those who don't have insurance. It's for those who are uninsured and underinsured. Coming here today is even more meaningful to me as I lost my father in January from COPD. And towards the end of his illness, one of the things that I noticed him being a very proud man was that he struggled with giving up his independence. That was the biggest, I think that was as much as a struggle for him as breathing. And so when it got to the place that we wanted to help him be independent, that's when we can step in and say, okay, Dad, let's try walking now. Okay, Dad, now it's time for a wheelchair. Okay, Dad, you know, you gotta get a shower chair. You can't just hold on to the side of the shower. Now just put yourself in that place with someone who has no insurance. Not only do you have to deal with the physicality, but you have to deal with the fact that you lose your independence. To me, when it comes to free, that's what I'm really giving back to the community. It's independence. Independence. I tell people to think about it in this way. How many people have ever gone camping before? Okay, we got some campers. And it's all fun, and we don't mind showering, you know, in the little shower things they have at the camp, or even in, I had a trailer myself, even in the trailer, showering there. But it's still something about I'm ready to get back home and get in my own shower, isn't that right? Now let me do this. Let me just take your shower away. Just take your shower away. Not only do you not get to use the one camper, but you're never gonna go back to your shower at home. And so now you rest on the help of someone showing up to bathe you. You rest on the place and now I've lost a little bit of my dignity, am I right? Much of my independence, because not only do they have to bathe me, but I'm on their time and in their manner in which they bathe me. When I'm able to give someone a tub transfer bench, and just for the record, a tub transfer bench and a shower chair is not covered by any insurance. Not covered. It's out of pocket. And so if I'm able to give someone a tub shower chair, I am giving them back a quality of life that had been completely removed from them. Completely removed. I had, one of my favorite stories is, we're located on Midlothian Turnpike, and there was a lady who called the office, and she said, I'm staying at a hotel, and I heard about your foundation, and I was wondering if I could get a wheelchair for my mother. So I walked her through the application process, which I share with you. And I said, sure. So we got the application approved, and she showed up in the lobby, and I gave her the wheelchair, and she was so excited. And I sat and talked to her, and she said, you know, this would be a great help. She was like, if only I can figure out how to get my mom in the shower. And I was like, hold up a minute. We have shower chairs. So I went in the back and got her a shower chair. She was like, oh, this is going to be great. She was like, I'm just going to get some money together and get her some new chunks and some diapers and give her a good shower and everything. And I said, hold up a minute. Just so happened that I had some diapers. I gave her some diapers. And then I said, are you going to be able to get all this in your car? And she said, I don't have a car. And I said, well, how'd you get here? She said, ma'am, I'm 2 blocks away at the motel. We've been living in the motel for 3 years. I said, for 3 years, you've been living at the motel for 3 years. Your mother's been laying in the bed, has not had a shower, and the Free Foundation has been here all this time with everything that you need. And so I was able to pile everything up in the wheelchair. And yes, I helped her walk down the local turnpike. And she took the stuff to her mom. And there was a little deck from the hotel room. And she called about an hour and a half later. She said, can you walk out to the corner? She said, walk out to the curb of the street. She said, I want you to look up. And there was her mom sitting on the deck waving to me. And this woman had not been out of her bed. This woman had not been in a shower in 3 years. And I tell that story because it's not an incidental. I'm telling you, this job has allowed me to see a world of people who live in a house and are not able to leave their house. And so Free Foundation is this hidden jewel of all this equipment that we have. We are blessed that we have this wonderful partnership with Goodwill. And so basically any mobility equipment that is given to Goodwill, it automatically comes to the Free Foundation now, where I get first dibs at what's good and what's not good, and I can get it ready and I can give it back to the community. One of the things that I think that causes us to be a cousin to what you all are doing here at Breathmatters is I cannot tell you how many people come into the office and they need mobility equipment because they have breathing issues and they no longer can get around without a walker. They no longer can get around without a rollator. Many of them don't even know what a rollator is, the little one with the break in the seats. They just want to walk and they're catching the bus. And when they realize they can go from a walker to a rollator so they can take a seat while they're catching the bus, now it allows them a better quality of life. I'm one that believes strongly that if I can help to give a better quality of life in a house, I can give a better quality of life in the community.